Welcome back to Left, Right, and You. Before we get back onto our usual stuff, Tim, do you mind if I talk about your grandfather for a moment?
Thank you.
For those who don't know, Tim and I have been friends now for 30-plus years.
It's been that long?
Yeah, it's been that long. Well, I think we were friends for like 15 of it. The other 15 or so was sketchy at times, but we'll call it friends the whole time. But way back then, I remember going out with you to your grandfather's house. Your grandfather, Joe Passanato, who many people just refer to as Uncle Joe, passed away a couple of years ago. Just an absolute great guy. And he was part of a group called Touch My Heart, and they are now honoring him, having a golf outing in his name coming up. And I believe if I got it here, it's in June. I'm sorry, it's May 19th. It's going to be at Salt Creek in Wooddale. And for all the information you would want on it, you can go to, I believe they've got a website here. I should be way more organized. I had it in front of me a second ago. Here it is. You can go to info@touchmyheartusa.org. If you can't attend, you just want to make a donation to the charity. They do a lot of really great stuff. They have social events, fun fairs. They have they support the Boy Scouts. They just help a lot. It'd be great if our listeners would just at least go online, take a look, see if they want to be part of the golf outing, if they want to be a sponsor of it, or if they just want to make a donation for all the good causes that they represent. And it's really nice. It's a great honorarium for your grandfather, who was just an absolute great guy.
Okay.
So I wanted to throw that out there.
If I asked Rick Montalbano to call, I don't know if he was on there, Dave. No. Okay.
Yeah, Rick Montalbano is the president. He obviously could give us a lot more information, but you'll be hearing more about the group and about the outing from us as we get a little bit closer to it. So
yeah, we got Pat Hutchins is online, and then Jeff is also has called back.
All right. Well, if you would mind to ask Jeff to call after we're done with Pat, that would be great. Or if he wants to wait, but let's bring Pat right in.
Yeah.
Hi, Pat.
Hi, thank you.
Good. How are you
doing? The opportunity. Fine, thank you.
Good.
Just for means of introduction, Pat Hutchins is a longtime business owner in Elgin, a longtime resident, and he's currently a trustee for Elgin Township, and he's sort of the counterpoint to the first part of our show. So, Pat, jump on in there. Did you hear the first part of the show?
Yeah, I heard the very last part of the first part. So.
The first part of the last part?
Yeah, I actually was on a roof looking at a rooftop that needed to be replaced at a church in Elgin. But anyway, I just wanted to make comment that I'm supportive of Ed Schock as our mayor.
Okay.
Many different reasons. I've seen Ed in his political time. It's kind of in the same time when I was coming up in politics, and I know Ed served 18 years as council and mayor, but since 1999 as the mayor, I really appreciated Ed running. At the time Ed ran for mayor, Kevin Kelly and the council was not a pleasant place to go to a meeting. I had been to a couple of those meetings, and just the tone of what was going on in Elgin just wasn't good from our city standpoint. And I thought when Ed came as mayor, everything kind of got to where Ed was a good leader, and his leadership shone through all that. And I think Ed is an icon out there that I am proud to have Ed as my mayor, out representing my city. When I hear him on television or I see a news report, he really speaks intelligently about issues, and I'm really pleased with that. Ed had a big part of the proposal for the seniors for the property tax rebate, for the surplus riverboat money. Part of our downtown, you go downtown and stand at night and look at our buildings. Ed was a big part of that vision we had for this police department building, the City of Elgin recreation building. All of that kind of really was helped by Ed and the council, since then. And I really am pleased that Ed is a part of that. I mean, Ed's had a big part of reduction in crime, the jobs. I just heard, over 10,000 jobs, dozens of companies come into Elgin. As past chamber, I was chairman of the board of the chamber, and I know how hard it was to get companies to come into Elgin back then. Ed was a big part of luring Motorola to come over in 2000. That was huge. That distribution center at Motorola is huge. I've been there. My son is part of Motorola, and I know how he said it was very important for Motorola to come to Elgin after all that. But I just think that Ed and Mike Warren too. Mike Warren is running for council. I think really deserves our vote for re-election. Mike lives down the street from me, and I see how he is as a family man. He's a great family man, and he has a lot of great ideas. This idea that came up with the senior services expansion, I think Mike's one of the guys that helped drive that home, and I know he called me to ask that the township get involved with that, and his vision in that I think has been very good. But I'm just kind of I just wanted to kind of put that voice in and say I really think Elgin's in good hands with what we got there. I think the city council people we have are good people. I think Kaplan's a good man.
I was going to ask you that. Yeah. What do you think about Dave Kaplan?
You know what? I think Dave has really worked hard. I know he is passionate for his vision that he has. I just don't think he has the vision that Ed has for the entire city. And I think that Ed is really an effective leader that deserves our re-election. I don't think Ed has done anything that I could throw stones at. I think he's done a really good job.
Let me ask you a question. 12 years? I mean, do you think 12 years you should let somebody else take over?
You know, that's
a
easy
fair
to say.
question.
It's easy to say it's a fair question and everything, and that sometimes there needs to be a sweep of reform in certain areas. I don't think it stands with this in our city council right now. I think our council really works effectively together. I think there's a good broad base of individuals there. I think they work good now. I don't know why we would want to get rid of them.
Okay, yeah, I had them on here. When we had them on, I thought they were both quality people, and I think Elgin's going to lose somebody good at the end of the day today.
Yeah, it's too bad. I think Dave Kaplan is a fine individual. I just think Ed is a more effective leader at this point.
Okay, Paul, I mean, do you have any?
Well, you've made mention of all the good things that he's done to this point. Obviously, the economic changes over the last few years in particular have been quite challenging. What is it about Ed versus Dave that you believe he's got a better plan moving forward to continue the good work that you state that he's done?
Ed is really an intelligent guy. Not that Dave isn't, but Ed is an intelligent guy. I think his vision for the entire city is something that is an example that we've seen in the past few years. I think it should be shown. You know, bringing Motorola here, Ed was. If Motorola didn't think Elgin had the best leadership involved, they wouldn't be here in Elgin. Elgin's done a lot of things over the years to get themselves to the point where we can attract and lure big business. I think Ed is a wonderful person to be out there, you know, leading the charge on things. And I can't think of a better person in Elgin to be out there for us other than Ed.
Well, I've got to put your feet to the fire there. I don't know that I really got my question answered. And that is, what is it? Let me rephrase it. What is his vision now that you seem to be in tune with? That you, what are a couple of things that you think he's really going to push for and try to do to continue the progress? How's that? Because going back to Motorola in 2000, that's what have you done for me lately now?
Yeah.
So what are we going to do now facing the challenges we have now? What is his vision that you're so fond of?
Well, let me just say one thing.
And I'm not anti-Ed Shock. I don't want to be like that. I just want him to make the argument.
Let me just say Let me interrupt you for 1 second. One thing, we asked Captain kind of the same question. We asked Dave, Councilman Captain. I'm sorry, no disrespect intended, and said, what's the difference between you and the mayor? And he said, all I'm going to say is there's a lot of people that are not happy with the leadership. And he didn't elaborate. He was a total gentleman, total mensch. I mean, they were just really, really good guys. It was a great interview. So I don't really know. To me, they I don't say bookends, but they very similar in a lot of the things that they talked about. But I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I think you're right in that aspect. I don't think that Dave doesn't have a good plan, but I think Dave has waffled on a lot of things that I've seen. You know, the Far West program, I thought he was part of the being for the Far West program, and now it's like he's backed off on that. I think that Ed's vision has been one of growth in certain areas that will help us as a city. I think his bringing business and jobs to Elgin, in bringing the value of the homes up in Elgin, the average home being built being at a higher value, I think is really good. I think it's the right area.
Okay.
I think we want a higher income people to live in Elgin. I think it helps our stores, it helps our sales, our restaurants, and things like that. All of that has been part of Ed's plan all along, and I don't know why you want to abandon it or have something new. I think that's what we want. As Elginites, I remember the Elgin in 1958 and 56. We're never going to get that way.
Are you that old?
Yeah, I'm that old. I can remember my sister grabbing me by the hand and walking from the north end of Spring Street all the way down to the Crocker for a movie. I can remember those days, and my parents letting us do that on a Saturday.
And he's still climbing roofs out there.
Yeah, I can still climb a roof too. But I think that Ed's vision in the present city, vision for the growth of Elgin and for where we're going to be, not today, but in 10 to 15 years, I think that we could, stay the course. I think we're doing the right thing.
Pat, one of the things that I see about Elgin in comparison to some of the other, I'm going to say the towns south of Elgin along the river. I mean, you just go right down and you've got St. Charles and Geneva and Batavia. They have these great river walks and the businesses there. I shouldn't say they appear to be flourishing because I know the mill race just recently closed.
Oh yeah, I know.
Which is
they've
just
got
an
absolutely
wonderful place right on the river. But that's still pretty vibrant. And I sit there and all the different things that go on. I would think the single greatest challenge is how do you take downtown Elgin and attract tourism? And I realize it's local tourism, but how do you get people to sit there on a Friday night and go, hey, I know what I want to do. I want to go to downtown Elgin and enjoy the river and enjoy a meal. And how do you do that? Because I think there's a lot of tax dollars. You talk about businesses. The more attractive you make the river for tourism, I think the more attractive you make Elgin in general.
Very definitely. I think that.
So what's the plan?
For 10 years, we've been struggling at it. I know when I was chairman of the board of the chamber, we were struggling with that all 10 years ago, and just trying to keep our crime down, getting our streets to be safer. Our present council and Ed, I think, have done a good job in directing, and our police chief, Sabota, right now. I really loved bringing a guy from within the department to be our head, and to bring in a department head from our fire department, hiring within for once instead of going out on these national searches. We had the guys right on board. Sean, just to bring Sean in as our city manager, really smart moves. I think this council's done a really good job. Ed's been the leader during that time, and I really think he deserves our vote.
All right. Any more questions for Pat, Tim?
No, Pat. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for taking the time.
Okay, you're welcome.
Take care.
Thanks. I just got a text from Rick Montalbano.
Okay.
He's going to call in a minute. So
good.
When Rick calls in.
All right, Tim. You and I let's make believe right now. We're Elginites, and we live in the city of Elgin. We haven't cast our vote yet. You heard someone who was, hey, I want the current regime moved out. And you heard from someone else saying, hey, I want the current regime to stay. You were undecided, hypothetically, till now. Did either one of these individuals sway you in any way, shape, or form?
No, I think the gentleman, Pat, just basically said let him finish what his vision is. That's what I heard. No, not really.
Okay.
I met both of them twice, 2-3 times. Yeah. I think they're both. Rick Montalbano is on the phone.
Oh, great.
Hi, Rick.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Good. How are you? Thanks for calling in.
Hey, no problem.
Hey, and Rick,
you're live on the radio.
Yeah, and Rick, I'm sorry I haven't called you. I've been meaning to, but I got a couple of.
Sorry,
if you guys are doing like raffles or something, I got a couple of White Sox tickets to donate to the cause. Okay.
Fantastic.
You haven't talked to him yet?
I figured you're a little busy the last 2 days.
Yeah, I wish I could use that excuse. I'm just really sort of lazy. Let's just call it what it is. All right.
So
okay, hey, just give me the out.
Yeah, but thanks for the benefit of the doubt. I appreciate it.
I called your father by mistake, by the way, so he's probably wondering why Tim Elenz called him, tell him that the sky didn't fall or anything. But Paul just was talking about this thing, so I'll let Paul.
Well, you know what? Richard? Why don't you just tell us about Touch My Heart? Tell us about your relationship with Joe, and then tell us about the outing that's coming up. It's all yours.
Sure, absolutely. Okay, all right. Hey, Touch My Heart is we started our organization last year. And it's actually, many of us have been involved with pouring into the lives of the special needs community for the last 20, 30 years, as was Uncle Joe Passanato, and, who the golf outings in memory of. And what we've done now is we used to run a fraternal organization that did this, and all the funding has dried up, and grants and matching gifts and stuff. So we started Touch My Heart last January and got our 501c3 nonprofit and everything right away. So now we've got all the credentials for funding and education and everything that we were doing that we were unable to get anymore. And we touch the lives of about 8,000 to 10,000 people a year. And we work with non-traditional families, which are like kids and people that are wards of the state, may have been disowned by their parents or no longer to care for them. That's about 80% of the people that we reach out to. And we work with organizations like Ray Graham, Little City, AID, Aspire, just to name a few. We work with about 18 different organizations. And what we do is we just provide an aspect of quality of life that most of them can't provide anymore because of all the funding has fallen in the state of Illinois for care of people with disabilities. And unfortunately, we are like number 51 in the nation for how we treat our people with disabilities and care for them. So there's no extra money to take them out or do anything. So we do a lot of this type of stuff, where we'll bring 800 to 1,000 people to the zoo for an outing. We'll take them to a Kane County Cougars game. We throw a huge Christmas party for those that otherwise won't have a Christmas day, like most of us might know Christmas. And this is what we do throughout the year. We have a special needs fun fair coming up in Glen Ellen next Saturday. We've got another one in Naperville the first weekend in May, and we got our golf outing coming up. So what Touch My Heart does is we go ahead and we create the atmosphere and the events for those who want to come and serve and reach out to the special needs community. And it's the whole gamut from severe developmental, disabilities, whether they're wheelchair bound or can't walk, blind, all the way up to the milder developmental disabilities, autism, Asperger's. We encompass the whole thing and give everybody just a great time and a great place to do things. We also run special needs scouting for Boy Scouts of America. We developed a program about 5 or 6 years ago called Champion Buddy Program. And what that means is, you could come out, you can be a buddy to a special needs individual who wants to be in the scouting program. And we have over 2,000 people registered in the Boy Scouts program here locally. We belong to Three Fires Council, which is based out of St. Charles. And we have different modified scouting programs and programming that we run through these different organizations, as well as mainstream Boy Scouting program all around the special needs gamut. So we're kind of all over the place, as far as advocacy goes, and just education and awareness for the special needs community. So that's what Touch My Heart does. And the golf outing coming up in memory of my Uncle Joe. And Uncle Joe was just a tremendous advocate for the special needs community his whole life. He probably spent 50, 60-plus years diehard, volunteering, being there for everything. And me and Uncle Joe used to run our golf outings in the past. And if and of course Uncle Joe well, that golf was his second his second career, if you will. I mean, he loved it.
Second career, first love.
Yeah, maybe that's what it was. I was waiting for something here. Thank you. And I mean, you know what? I mean, just a great time. You know what? And Uncle Joe, his heart was always out there for the kids, and that's what we do with Touch My Heart. We're out there and we're just pouring into these kids in that community, and that's all Uncle Joe did. And it doesn't matter who gets the credit for it, who gets the name recognition. None of that stuff matters. It mattered the work that you were doing, just pouring back into the community and just seeing the smiles on their faces. And any of you that know. You see the love and the joy that they bring to you. It's phenomenal. And so anyway, so we took this event here, and Uncle Joe, because he was an avid collector, had all these golf clubs. So
I still have some.
Yeah, he's many.
So, I mean thousands. Okay, and after he passed away, his wife called me and she's like, you need to get these golf clubs out of here. Do something with them, get them to your Boy Scouting programs and just get them out to the community where they can be used. So we did that. We placed a couple of thousand of them out there, and we still have a couple of thousand. And so we put together this idea to, hey, you know what? Wouldn't it be cool to have like an old-timers golf outing? and you got to use, part of the challenge is you got to use these old-timer clubs from Uncle Joe's collection. So I'm like, that's a really cool idea. So that's what we put together, and we named it the Joseph Uncle Joe Passanato Memorial Old Timers Golf Classic. And so this is how all this stuff came together over the last 3-4 months. Got a bunch of other people behind us who just think it's awesome. We're giving away prizes for those that show up in vintage golf, attire. and we got groups of Boy Scouts working on, polishing up some of his clubs and putting them into sets and stuff. So,
That's nice.
We get the golfers out there, and you know what? We'll set them up with a set of clubs to golf with. And if they really are that dependent on their game, they had to play with their own clubs. I mean, we'll let them play with their own clubs if they have to. But it's kind of the whole coolness of the thing is to play. And who knows? Somebody might say that's the best club they ever used.
Could be.
Yeah, we can sell them then.
And
we have
so that's what we're doing. We're gonna have all kinds of contests and stuff going out there on the course. And it's gonna be a great time. Prizes, giveaways, raffle items, and just a great day of stuff. We understand that we're going to have a few of our special needs folks that we help to all the time going to come out for the day, and you'll see some of their shining faces out there as well.
Hey, Rick,
I
know, you sound so passionate about this, like you could talk for the next 45 minutes, but we are up against the clock. So Rick,
what's
is it all right if I give out your phone number for contact on this?
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
Phone number is 708. 417-4464. Again, 708-417-4464. Website is touchmyheartusa.org.
All right.
Thanks, Rick.
Thanks so much for calling in and giving everyone all the information. Have a great day now, okay, bud?
Bye-bye.
Thanks a lot.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
All right, we got like 2 minutes left.
Yeah. Covered
So-
some good stuff today, though.
Yeah, there's a josephjpassanato.org website, too. I don't know if you knew that. So
Didn't.
my daughter had put that together, so that was kind of neat that they had called. But anyway, back to this Elgin thing.
Yeah.
And other stuff. No, I haven't really changed my opinion. I think they're both two really good guys. And
Is this one of those rare instances with sort of a you can't lose sort of elections?
well, you're going to lose somebody good.
Yeah.
You're going to lose one of these guys is not going to be on the council anymore.
Mm-hmm.
The question will be whether they'll still be a community activist. I know you love that word, community activist. It reminds you of your president guy.
Well,
Yeah.
I love people who are active in their community. Ruth Munson, who recently lost her bid for state office, is very active still here in Elgin. So, I think they would be.
Yeah, no, I think it's good. Hey, there's our music. Hey, everybody, join us back tonight.
From 7 to 10.
7 to 10, we'll be on with some special guests. John Prigge, Councilman John Prigge will be on, and George Rollinson, our producer, will be on joining us, and we will have a nice roundtable tonight.
Steve Thayer.
Steve Thayer's going to be on, too.
Yes.
That's right. I'm sorry. Glad you reminded me.
Can't forget him.
Thanks, everyone. See you tonight.